we'll do. Welcome everybody. This is the County of Hawaii Transportation Commission's Mass Transit Agency meeting for Monday, March 24th. We're going to start our meeting now. I could start with commissioners online and then move to the commissioners. Please introduce yourself. Rose or Jennifer? Chelsea?
Yeah, hi. I was just gonna say, is it possible for everyone who's not speaking to mute their microphones? There's a lot of background interference, so I can't hear really well. But I'm Chelsea Ahern from Aupuni.
I could everybody or any of the two other participants online, could you turn your mics off for me, please? Shut them.
Was that off, sir?
Yeah, could you mute your mic for me, please?
Yeah, we can hear you, sir.
Yeah, but could you mute your mic for me?
I don't know how. What you say? He let us use our mic? Yep. We cannot hear you too well, sir.
Okay, we'll speak loudly.
No, but
Then Rose, can I introduce yourself?
Hold on, commissioners.
he wants us to turn the mics off.
Yes.
Yes.
I don't know how you do that.
At the bottom of your screen, there will be a mute button.
At the bottom of your screen, there's a button that allows you to mute.
Mute. Yeah, only the red button. Yeah, it's only the red button. Oh, okay. You just press the mute.
Yes, please. Perfect.
Perfect. Okay.
Okay, when you want to speak, if you could unmute yourself, but we'll call you when when it's time. Okay, we'll start over. If we could get just introductions done, we'll start with Rose, Chelsea, and Jennifer.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Martin. I'm the Mass Transit Fleet and Facilities Manager, so I'm on Zach's team.
Aloha, as said before, I'm Chelsea Ahern. I'm in Kona on the Transportation Commission.
Rosalind Molina, Kona Transportation Commission.
Welcome, Rose.
I'm Christy Cruz, District 5, Transportation Commission.
Lloyd Matsubara, District 9, Transportation Commission.
I'm Matthew Turlup, District 1, Transportation Commission. Thank you, everybody. We have quorum. So we'll get our meeting started. Also wanted to make sure that the acting Mass Transit Director is also present and County Corporate Counsel is here.
Deputy Clerk Counsel Susanna Kipula, present to advise the commission.
Good morning, Zach Burgum, Acting Administrator, Mass Transit Agency.
Thaisha Jenigabuis, Secretary with Mass Transit.
Great. We'll next order of business is we need to elect a new council person. I think there was only one nominee, but we could add one to the pot if we want to. I guess there's a motion to elect the new chairperson.
Would someone like to move to elect the new? To elect the nominee?
Yeah.
Matthew Trillo?
Second.
Well, I can't move.
Oh,
I-
motion.
you move, yeah,
That motion.
the second motion.
We have a second motion. The motion is,
On the table, any discussion? Chelsea Rose? Nope. So vote. Can you do a roll call vote? Maker of the motion. Lloyd Matsubara, how do you vote?
Yes.
Christy Cruz?
Yes.
Rose Molina?
Yes.
Chelsea Ahern?
Yes.
Mr. Trillo, chair?
sure.
Unanimous in favor. I turn it back over to the chair.
Okay, now that's done, we are gonna move on to the next business, which is a brief overview of the parliamentary procedures and the sunshine law from corporate council.
And I was asked to make this very brief, as you have many different items on the agenda. So what I'm gonna do is, we're gonna be sending material out to all the commissioners, Rose and Chelsea. I'm gonna talk about it briefly today. And then if you have questions next month, I'll address it further. I'm only gonna touch on today parliamentary procedure. Can you hear me? Am I speaking loud enough? Perfect. Okay, I'm gonna try to keep this in under 10 minutes, and I'll be asking you next month at the next meeting if you have questions, and I'll address sunshine law at the next meeting, also briefly ethics. So parliamentary procedure. We follow Robert's Rules of Order. Robert's Rules of Order has 5 basic principles, and I'm on slide number 6. The basic principles are: one person speaks at a time. Okay, every person on the commission is entitled to be heard. So all commissioners' voices are to be heard. All commissioners' voices are equal. So the structure of Robert's Rules is designed so that everyone on a commission gets to participate and your voice, it has equal weight. Okay, the will of the majority is carried out, but a minority position, if some people disagree, if there's disagreement in the commission, the minority position must be protected. And even if there's only one commissioner who has a position, the structure of Robert's Rules is designed to allow everyone to express their will in the commission. Ultimately, though, once a decision is made, the personality and the desires of each member are merged into the will of the commission. The structure is that every commissioner is to ask the chair to be recognized. The chair facilitates the meetings, and if you wish to speak, you ask the chair for recognition. Typically, you have to propose a motion in order to have any discussion. So typically, when we have a topic, you would say, I move to, and I'm going to provide, in addition to this handout, a cheat sheet, different motions that you can make. You know, I move to review the applications. I move to approve the application. I move to approve the recommended changes to chapter 18. Those are just a few of the examples. Once you make the motion, another commissioner seconds the motion. And then ideally you have a robust discussion. The chair is going to call on the maker of the motion first. Why did you make this motion? You know, what is the basis? What would you like to accomplish with this? Then often they'll call on the chair. And then after the chair, after the second is able to speak, the chair will then call on the other commissioners back and forth between those who oppose and those who are in opposition, if the chair knows, to allow them to speak. And it's basically your opportunity to say why you do or do not support the motion. Typically, a commission meeting is not a dialogue between, it's a series of kind of formal statements where each of you articulate your opinions or the basis for your decision. If there is a first round and more people want to speak, Commissioner A says something, Commissioner C would like to respond. The chair first lets every commissioner speak and then does the second round. So if there's more conversation, more input, we'll do a second round. At which point typically we would vote. If we can't have a majority, we will open it up for more discussion and vote a second time. The tips that I'm looking at, page number 12. That chairperson maintains order in the room. What I haven't spoken on is public testifiers and members of the public, because although our meetings are run with Robert's Rules of Order, we follow sunshine law, which means members of the public have the opportunity to address us. In fact, they have the opportunity at the beginning of every meeting, and they have an opportunity right before their item is called. So as soon as I'm finished with this, we're going to see if any member of the public would like to speak, or if they would like to wait until their agenda item is called for them to speak. They don't get to testify twice per agenda item, just once, but they can choose whether to participate at the beginning of the meeting or when the agenda item is called. Sometimes people will choose the beginning of the meeting so they don't sit on Zoom for 2 hours waiting to be called. So sometimes it's for their convenience to be called earlier. Any questions? Because I did promise to make this really fast. What I will do, and can do easily moving forward, is if anyone looks at the agenda and says, well, I think I'd like to make a motion, I can draft sample motion for you. If during the meeting you'd like to make a motion, but you're not sure how, you can ask for an executive session. I move to go into executive session to ask a question of our lawyer, and you can ask for assistance, and I'm happy to draft those. I'll also be happy to provide that in advance. If when you look at the agenda, you say, oh, here's 3 motions I know I want to make. Maybe chapter 18, I move to recommend, but I want 2 changes. So please let me know how I can assist. This is the briefest training on parliamentary procedure I have ever provided. But I will let you move on with your agenda. I think next we have to ask members of the public if they'd like to testify. Thank you. Do you have any questions, Chelsea, Rose? No.
No.
Okay, thank you so much for serving.
Thank you for that. I wanted to, my apologies for not including the general public, but if you did want to add anything, you have the opportunity to do that now, or if you want to during your time as we go through the agenda. So if you wanted to say anything now, you could.
Okay.
Okay. You're good?
Good.
You're good.
Is there anyone online?
Is there anybody online who'd like to member of the public say anything before we move on to the next agenda item? Nope. And we'll close for discussion. All right, moving on. We're looking agenda 5. We're looking to get a motion to approve the November 25th, 2024 meeting minutes. Second. And all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion approved, minutes accepted. All right, agenda 6, statements from the general public and testimony. Oh, we've done that already, thank you. New business, moving on to new business and on your agenda, reviewing the taxi cab application for the new certification of public convenience necessary to operate in the county of Hawaii. We're looking to approve Hendrick, Pre-Metrio on behalf of Zachary Taxi and Hilo-On, and Remigo Dimiaga on behalf of R&A Taxi in Hilo, James Oxley on behalf of Masako Taxi in Hilo-On.
Do the commissioners want?
Do we want to look at, hopefully you had time to look at the applications, we could approve them one at a time if you have any questions, or we can move to a motion to approve them all.
I have questions.
Okay. It's 2012.
There's 2012. And then I also, have some concerns with James.
If you call each one at a time.
Okay, we'll go through each application, starting with Mr. Rimmer Trio's application.
Is he present?
Is he present to testify?
For the individuals by telephone, is anyone here from Jazrib Taxi in Kona?
Yes, ma'am, I'm here.
Our commissioner has questions for you.
Yes.
Did you hear the question? Did you have a question?
No, I did not get it. What's the question again?
Does any of the commissioners have questions? Mr. Premature?
No, does he want to make a statement or anything?
At this time, there's no questions for you, but you can make a statement.
If you like talk, you can talk. If you like talk, talk. If you like talk, you can talk.
No? Okay, you can turn your mic up.
I'm good.
Okay, thank you very much for that.
Oh, thank you.
Get a second.
All in favor?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion approved. Application Premature has been approved. Moving on to the next one. Application for Remego. Yeah.
Oh, he doesn't.
RJ Taxi. Any of the commissioners have any questions on his application? It's open for discussion.
Is that individual?
Yeah, he's right here.
Oh. Mr. Remy, turn your mic off, please. Yeah. Mr. Can you please turn your mic off, but I also wanted to let you know if you didn't hear that your application was approved. Thank you. Does any of the commissioners have questions for Mr. Anyone online? Motion to approve. Good. All in favor? All right.
Rosie? Jesse?
Aye.
Rose, I think you're on mute.
Aye.
Unanimous, the motion has been approved. All right, your application is approved. Thank you. Moving on to Mr. James Oxley on behalf of hospitals. Open for discussion.
Okay. Is James present?
Is anybody from myself on the meeting?
I'm good. I don't have any comments.
Are you James Oxley?
Yes, sir.
Okay, the commissioner, some of the commissioners have questions for you, so please be online.
You might have to speak very low. Mike.
Yeah.
Okay. I just have concern with some of something from his abstract. So James, how long have you been operating? Have you been operating a taxi before?
James, how long have you been operating a taxi? I'm sorry. How long have you been operating a taxi?
11 years.
So do we not have regulations on where of the vehicle?
The statement I see, I was asked, this is Susanna Tiapula, Deputy Court Counsel. I was asked about how old the vehicle can be, section 1837(1) taxi cab license. Subsection B, number 3 references the physical condition of the taxi cab as a factor that you can consider.
Just the physical condition?
Yes. It doesn't have a year.
Here. Okay,
You can ask about
Oh,
the
like-
physical condition of the
okay.
taxis.
Does your taxi have AC?
Does it have air conditioning?
It's brand new.
We have a question. The application we're looking at says that the car is from 2008 or 2009. A Toyota from 2009. Do you have a different taxi?
No, the one that I drive now is 3 years old. The one that I'm putting online is the 2000.
Okay, you're gonna really need to speak directly into the mic, because we're having a really difficult time understanding you. So if you could repeat that, please. The question posed to you is the condition of your vehicle, does it have air conditioning?
I'm right, taxi, I want AC.
Everybody does.
Okay, oh yeah, it has air conditioning.
What year is it?
It's in good shape. I don't know if you heard me the last time, but it looks brand new. It's got like
Wait.
160,000 miles, I believe. And yeah, it's in great shape. Everything works. It has air conditioning.
Okay.
Did you hear that?
Yes.
Yes,
Thank you.
thank you.
So just so we're clear, the vehicle that we'll be licensing is the 2009 Toyota Sienna, license 2Z2.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes, sir. Oh, you already.
I feel like.
to state, please drive carefully without these speeding tickets.
Are you
Still open for this.
asking me a question?
One of the members would like to make a statement to you before we move on.
Okay, oh, I just wanna
Okay.
state, please drive safe with all these speeding tickets on your abstract. I'm just a little concerned.
Okay. Thank you. I will.
Does any of the commissioners like to have any more discussion on this application?
No,
Rose or Chelsea, or Jennifer?
No question.
Motion to approve.
a motion.
Second.
Uh. No further discussion,
All in favor?
all in favor?
Aye.
I,
Hi.
Alright, so we have 4 yeas and 1 nay.
Means it doesn't pass.
But majority wins, right?
No, it actually has to be a majority. I was asked if it's a majority decision. It's a majority of the number of council members to which this is entitled. And you're entitled to 9.
We only have
We have to change, okay. We're gonna take a recount of our vote. So if we could one more time, get a motion to
yes.
approve. That's 5 yeses.
yes,
Motion has barely approved. So I would take that in consideration this year as you're providing the service for the public. We appreciate you.
Okay.
Alright, so this
Thank you.
and please, if you could turn off your mic. Moving
Okay.
on to the next item agenda in new business number 2, license revocations hearing on the revocation of the following certificates of public conveyance or convenience due to the discontinue by the carrier of the business of transporting passengers of a common carrier of passengers operating upon and using the public highways for a period of 30 days. Consecutive days or more, or failure to renew his or her taxi cab license. And your list is in your packet. So the list provided are licenses looking to revocate. So we can go through them individually, or we can approve them all. It's open for discussion.
Okay, anyone here representing any businesses? No. Does anyone here about a revocation?
No,
Online?
this one wrote a letter to extend taxi license in February on the 19th of this year, so I don't know if is this person present? This is for Rhonda. Where is it? Rhonda. Percy. Rhonda and where is the? But on this letter. It's addressed from Rachel. Which I think is number 12,
Rachel Fall,
yeah,
Percy taxi.
but it was next to the first, it was attached after the person's taxi, that's why I thought it was together.
Yes, there.
If we could get the more detail.
Yeah, so when I mailed out the revocation letter to inform them of the meeting, she was the only one who
Didn't.
yeah, she wanted to extend, so these are all the taxi cabs that didn't renew back in June, 2024. So when I had sent her the letter for the meeting, she had sent in this request for extension.
Can you hear us online?
Okay.
Please speak really loud.
Okay, when I sent out the revocation letters to inform them that their licenses were gonna be revoked. And of this upcoming meeting, Rachel Fall with Percy's Taxi mailed us this letter, so she's just requesting an extension on her renewal, so the rest were taxi cab companies who didn't renew in June of 2024, so that's what this list is.
Just so, just for my understanding, So wouldn't she just renew her application?
So I guess she needs to get all of this done before she can turn in her application,
Oh,
so,
okay.
yeah. those are-
So. Technically, there's no extension, then we would just have her reapply.
Yeah, so, she would have to go through the whole process again, so apply for a new CH, so that would be the certificate of,
Yeah,
of the, yeah.
not like we can give her an extension anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
To revoke the people, yeah.
So is that common? Have we done that in the past?
Oh, extension.
Yeah, I mean, if they don't meet, you got 45 days to go and make sure you got the dome light and everything else.
Yeah.
And then that second part of the instructions for the application, just like these folks, right?
Mhm.
They just got approved, that's step one,
Yeah,
right? So you still gotta complete step two. So, yeah.
But just so my understanding, there's no past practice that we've done an extension.
well, we'll just. Do a moment once then, or you could.
So that, well, I won't speak to past practice, but you can easily revoke all of the individuals who are not here. And this one could be deferred to the next meeting if you think she can come up to speed by then. You can defer an item until the next meeting. We're
Yeah,
gonna,
but regardless, she would have to reapply.
she's going to start from scratch, so I'll defer to FTA. You can always defer an item for the next meeting if you'd like to. You asked about that.
So
I like deferring, but it doesn't change her.
it doesn't.
Does it make it more difficult for her to reapply?
I don't think so.
No, yeah, she'd still have to do the same.
No matter
Okay.
what, she started.
Either way, it would just be, just reapplying.
Okay, so does everybody understand where we are, just because we know you're having a hard time
Mhm.
hearing us? So on,
First. I'm sorry, hit the first scan, we're gonna lose the internet right now. The first scan, yes, sorry.
okay, we are looking to get a motion to approve all of the,
Revoke
to revoke all of the
license.
licenses that are on your packet. All at once, or we can choose to defer Rachel Falls, DBA Percy Taxis to the next meeting. We can get a motion for either.
I'll motion to just, revoke. License.
But if you revoke your license, you cannot operate. Is that correct?
Yeah. They cannot, but she can't operate regardless. Because she did, she's not meeting all of the.
Or she knows that?
Yeah, so in her,
It
her
does, she
letter,
does know.
she states, what needs to be done in order for her to.
Yeah.
Folks, we really do have to make sure our folks online can hear. We have to speak loud, and for the commissioners online, I'm so sorry, but we need to see your faces. In order for us to have quorum, I apologize, but we need to be able to see you.
I can you see me? My video is on, but because I have to join the Zoom Gov through a browser, it's saying I need to close all browsers and rejoin the meeting. Now I can't see my video. I don't know if you can see it.
You can't, but as long as you're trying to keep it on. Rose, can you turn on your camera? We only have quorum if we can see you. Thank you, so sorry.
Thank you, Rose. Okay, we'll try to move this along. So, did we get a second to revoke all of the applications?
There's a motion right now.
Did you make a motion?
Yeah, I second the motion.
We have a first and second to revoke all of the licenses. Any discussion? Sure.
Okay, just for the record, there's a motion on the floor to revoke CH 405, CH 406, CH 622, CH 518, CH 331.
Oh.
Oh, you're,
Yeah.
Oh,
okay,
okay.
I'm Brandon Henson from,
Come sit. Yes, come join us.
I'm sorry. I'm Brandon Henson from BH Taxi. And yeah, I wanted to renew my taxi cab. I got one different vehicle I'm gonna do, so my friend before got into an accident, somebody blamed me
Okay.
last year. So now I got one different vehicle I use for operate on. I got a Toyota Corolla. I'm trying to get this going as soon as I can. Yeah, I got the paperwork I gotta do to,
So being that he's changing vehicle. What's his steps, yeah,
So he'll have to still do the renewal application, but then he'll just have to indicate, that is a change of vehicle.
change everything.
Yeah.
is it too late though to renew? No,
We did not have meetings for almost a year,
I know,
so we
So-
are accepting,
right,
I'll defer to you, but your commission is trying to make everything
Yeah.
current.
yeah, okay,
And we had meetings with no quorum.
okay,
I could suggest that we
Amend the motion and withdraw CH
mm-hmm,
66 and continue that, or sorry, CH
622.
CH 622.
mm-hmm,
The motion could be amended
mm-hmm,
to take that out.
okay,
And so to revoke the others, but not 622, and to continue 622 till the next meeting. If
And
that is the will of the commissioners.
and by the next meeting. He should have enough time to get all his paperwork done.
So we're looking to amend the. Yeah, so we're open to discussion. We're looking to amend our existing motion to move CH 622 Brandon Henson to the defer to the next meeting.
Okay, so. The motion right now to revoke is for CH 405, CH 406, CH 518, CH 331, CH 555, CH 550, CH 238, CH 258, CH 645, CH 646, CH 631, CH 636, CH 475, CH 395, CH 479, CH 3, CH 353, CH 609, CH 572, and CH 649.
That. Good. Any further discussion?
Anybody here? Others?
Is there anyone online here? To reject?
Yes, sir.
Any of the revocated applications? That were just read off
No,
before we close discussion?
we don't have that.
Whatever.
Yeah.
What,
Yeah, we don't have that.
you don't have any, your license is not being revoked.
No, I don't know. I misheard the question.
What is, no worries, what is your taxi name? What is the name of your taxi?
Osako taxi. Sorry. No.
Osako, okay, he's talking about a new application, yeah, that's James. Okay, James, thank you, James.
Hey, mahalo.
Thank
Thank you.
Please, thank you.
So, all in favor?
All in favor with the amended motion? Aye. Oh.
Hi.
Aye.
Motion passed. Unanimous.
And
So CH 622 Brandon Henson, you're
Uh-huh.
have been excluded from revocating and you have been pushed to the next meeting.
Thank you.
He can't operate until
No.
he
No.
reapplies with the new vehicle listed.
States, you know.
Okay, so that cleans up a lot of old business. All right, moving on to the next agenda item, number 8, Mass Transit Administrators Report for 2025. Q1.
Yep, good morning. Good morning, commissioners. I'm Zach Burgum, acting administrator. Our last meeting, you asked us to come up with a full report, so just gonna go down the list on a few things. Just wanted to put out, and not to take up too much of your time this morning, but thank you. So starting at the top, annual ADA training we completed in February. This is an annual training, not just for County of Hawaii folks, but also Roberts Hawaii in charge of fixed route, MTM. We also have Paxi that also joins in on the training. We bring a subject matter expert from California. His name is Jess, and he instructs the training over about the next 2 weeks is how long it takes, but we completed that in February. We also received a donation of a bunch of Gillig bus parts from Oahu at OTS. Just in February, you know, years ago, we acquired quite a few of their old retire buses. So this is just parts to help keep our fleet on track and in service. We did relocate a bus shelter to Pahoa from Kona back in February as well. Online, we have 8 diesel hometown buses that'll be arriving. We actually got the first one just a couple weeks ago, and then the next 7 are going to trickle in over the next couple of months. And so we're pretty excited to put those into the fleet as well. Also on order, we have 9 paratransit vans. We're looking at 2 of them to arrive by the end of July. And then we have 7 ProMaster vans that are going to be trickling in after that. And then over basically until November of this year. So 9 paratransit vans will be joining our existing fleet of 7, which we have currently. The Mass Transit Administrator position posted. I believe it's closed now, so hopefully they will be hiring the new administrator here, and that person will probably be here at the next commission's meeting that we have. We also have the Pahoa Hub progress. So currently the CADEX is with HDOT, and then once that's finalized, we'll be able to look at the land acquisition phase from that point, which would be great. Let's see, continued work with implement bus stop and bus shelters island-wide. So we've got a lot of feedback the past couple of months about bus shelters in general. So we've been looking at, just for example, Mohuli bus stop and bus shelter, Papaiko and Pipikeo bus stop and shelters as well. So we've been in communications with the state because, you know, some of those are state roadways. So it takes a little bit more coordination just as if it's a county roadway. So, but those are ongoing. Upcoming elements. Yep. So we work with Vista, with Department of Research and Development. Basically, this person helps us with keeping our services up to date in real time. So when you look at the bus services, you see where they are in real time and there's no delay. So we're working on improving that. We also have an APTA mobility conference approaching April, which will be out of Texas. So a member or 2 from our agency will go and attend that. We have another upcoming element is 4 battery electric buses, which will be on island around June of this year. And the bullet point just below that is working with HECO. So HECO will help us with getting the charging infrastructure to run those 4 battery electric buses. Fare free also ends in December of 2025. So we've been reaching out to the county as well as the community for input on that topic in general. And then the Kona Hub progress is in the planning phases, and we work with SSFM in coordinating that. And you know, with doing that and finding a hub in Kona, space is limited. And so we've been talking with them, and that's in the planning phases. We're looking at the area that is directly in front of the old Kmart area off of Queen K right there. So that's the area that we're looking at.
Is that the Lily-Kalani Trust?
That's correct. Yeah. All that land is owned by Lily-Kalani Trust, and we've been in communications with them too about what's available. And then looking at the, also in your,
I just want to see if the commissioners have any questions for for Zachary.
Do you guys have plans to put bus stops at every location?
not every single one, I mean, that
Is
there's,
it only requested?
where needed, where we think they're needed, also requested as well.
There's one outside of my subdivision and it's always raining on there. So, I mean, it would be nice to have one. It is off the state highway though.
Okay, and that's okay.
So,
Yeah, let's talk and I'll pull up the map in a little bit then.
yeah,
That's good input.
okay.
Rose or anyone else have any questions for the Zachary?
I have well, there was a concern. It's basically from when, the Hele-On bus picks up at the other hotels. Sometimes the bus driver doesn't come or leaves earlier than the normal pickup time. I think there's a lot of concern on that, on the pickup time that they're picking up the employees. So, and a lot of times they pick up late in the morning and so they're always late for work. But also when they're coming home, they pick up too early. So I think being more consistent with the pickup time for when the bus picks up the employees is a concern that I have. That
Is
I
there
just wanted to.
routes that you can identify?
Okay, the pickup at the Hilton bus stop is where sometimes the bus that picks up maybe like a 2:55, but they leave like 2:55. So they leave at 2:50. So like they leave 5 minutes before the pickup time. I know there's another bus though that comes right after that, like a 3:30 bus. But I think it's just being there more on the time that the pickup time is supposed to be picked up instead of coming in early or in the morning, especially when they have to go to work at about 7 a.m. The bus picks up like later or half an hour later, or not at all actually sometimes.
Okay, thank you, Rose, for that information. I appreciate that. And yeah, when it comes to specifics like that, we can also check the GPS to see how much earlier somebody did leave or arrive late, you know what I mean? And sometimes things are out of our control with like mechanical issues. So there is that too, but yeah, I really do appreciate that. And so we have constant communications with our ops team, and I'll bring that back and we can, as a talking point.
Okay, thank you.
Is there a particular policy regarding the stop when the bus driver has? Like,
Yeah.
Is it within his decision making to leave earlier or later?
No, not typically. I mean, that's why they have to stick to a schedule all the time. If there is things that impede the schedule, there will always be approval from that. The driver's just not gonna do whatever they think that they wanna do. They always have to contact dispatch for guidance. Yep. The last thing sorry, Rose, did you have another question?
Yeah, I'm sorry. There was also especially the 4 o'clock pickup as well.
Yeah.
I think it's basically like the afternoon is the concern more so.
Okay, sounds like
Yeah.
it's that time frame. Okay.
Sorry, I just wanted to bring that. Thank you. That's it. Bye.
Thank you, Rose.
And then the last thing we included in here, the first page basically kind of covers the organizational chart for what Mass Transit Agency is. I won't go through it all in detail, but I mean, you can kind of see the left-hand side is our maintenance support section. That middle column, if you look at kind of in the middle, that's really our operations, whether it's paratransit or fixed route. And on the right side of the org chart is really our admin, as well as HR. Total, it's like, about 25 people total in the agency, so fairly small agency. As you go to the next page, you can see the mission and the vision statements as well as goals for transit agency. And then it goes into detail about the overview and then also in depth into the 23 routes that encompass fixed route bus system for the island. As well as after that, it talks about paratransit services and what we provide. And then below there is HCEOC, which is Hawaii County Economic Opportunity Council. And then below there is van pool, which we have 35 vans right now that are in that program on the island. Below there, we have share ride taxi program and taxi cabs. And then the last page basically just covers our ridership data, which you can see from 2023 to 2024. And across the spectrum, it's been increasing for all 4 categories.
Have you guys identified whether the free ridership is the driving mechanism for the increase?
It definitely was a big part of it for sure. And you know, during COVID, when COVID happened, that's when that decision to go fare free was made to help boost ridership, and it did significantly.
Route structuring, is there any future route structuring that may happen? That may, I just wanted, I guess free ridership is a driver, but I know the last time we had discussed, there was a somewhat hard look at route structuring and whether that was a big driver for this as well.
Yeah.
Identifying the lanes that were serving the best.
Right. We are looking at route structuring as well. You know, we've been getting a lot of feedback at these community meetings that we've had the past couple of months too, and a lot of really good positive feedback that we get. And where else are you better going to hear that is to go out into the community and hear the people, right? So yes, we definitely are looking at structure.
I have a question. You know, RFP, Robert to Hawaii, did you guys submit that and got, okay,
So yeah, so we're under extension right now with Roberts Hawaii.
until September, right?
And until like August, yeah. And so right now, currently that RFP is with finance departments.
So it is with them.
Yep, and that should be, we're just, you know, just finishing it up, so that should be it.
So it's going to be a 3 or 5 year contract, 3-year contract. Those hydro buses. Can you tell me what's the status on them, and what we gonna?
Can you hear?
So he asked about the hydrogen buses.
The 2 that,
So we have the 2 hydrogen. And so US Hybrid pulled out,
the one at Utah, right?
correct?
Is it?
And so they would help us with pretty much the operations of those hydrogen buses, right? So they would help us fuel it as well as the maintenance, and they would take care of those 2 hydrogen buses. But, you know, the US Hybrid had pulled out last year, so it kind of just left us at a standstill with that part right now. They're not, those 2 buses are not in operation. One of those buses actually never made it to operation.
Right?
So, no, the 2 here on island right
Yeah, on
now.
island.
So we got bus 111 and bus 113 on island right now. And the only one that ever made it to operation was bus 111. And that's the one that did help us with that in the past.
So what's the status? We just going to just keep it for now?
We're in the planning phases with that. So Nelha can generate hydrogen. Okay, but we don't have a facility in Nelha, like a mass transit agency building facility with lifts, a mechanic room, with it housed with mechanics and then staff. That doesn't exist. We don't have any of that.
Are we gonna have it in the future with the new corner?
So yes, so yes, that is a future item. And that will be part of the base yard and the hub and everything that encompasses, but we're just not there yet. We have to have a facility, we have to have a base yard, we have to have people hired. there's a whole lot of factors that play into it. Even if we had the hydrogen bus running right now and it broke down on the road, our mechanics aren't trained to go work on a hydrogen bus. It's different from a diesel bus.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of things that play a factor into that. It's in the future, but we're just not there yet.
And why are they going to electric buses?
So electric, so yes,
Yeah.
so we got 4 battery electric buses, which is different from hydrogen, okay, that's just
Yeah, I know
electric
that.
buses. And that's, crawl, walk, run type thing, right? So with the elevation and the many factors that are on this island, we're gonna get the battery electric buses here.
Mhm.
And then we're gonna have to just exercise them and see what routes that they're gonna be able to run on.
Is it already purchased, like it's too late, there's no going back?
They're purchased and they will be here this summer.
Okay,
Battery
I
electric
leased
buses.
an electric car for a year and it's the worst decision I've ever made.
We had one battery electric bus
Yeah,
though, if
I
you
did
guys
buy it.
remember,
Yeah.
it ran the Pahoa route. It would go to Pahoa and Hilo, and it got a lot of publicity, people loved it, it looked great, and it did good.
Long term.
And so it had a couple of mechanical issues, like lift problems and stuff like that, but overall, it did great, you know what I mean? So,
On particular lanes, electric does well, flat,
right,
Mhm.
no terrain.
and on a descent, they
They
regain,
regen,
yeah,
yes.
they regain energy too, so that's another thing to take into consideration.
Not that
too.
much though, my car didn't regen that
Believe it
much.
or not, it was pretty good. We actually have one battery electric bus here right now. And we went and ran it and stretched its legs and we purposely took it up high
With
inclines.
passengers?
Well, no, just our team at Mass Transit, just to see.
With passengers, it's different.
All right, well, hey, ride the bus with us this summer, how about that?
I know what it's about.
Well, we're excited about it. We're just gonna see what it holds, so.
So the bus gonna be put on storage,
What's that now?
the hydrogen bus, because, if there's no maintenance on it, even though just sitting there, it's gonna be useless in 2-3 years.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Are you aware of it?
Yeah, with anything that sits out in the elements, especially when it's near an ocean, it's no good.
That's right.
I'm with you, Lloyd. I hear you loud and clear. It was unfortunate when US Hybrid left us, because it kind of left us trying to figure things out. So that's what we're trying to do.
They didn't figure they were gonna lose their funding, so that was the big part, right?
Right.
But that's not your decision to buy the car,
Yeah,
that
it
was,
wasn't.
that was you guys there?
It
No,
was,
wrong finger. No, this was the previous administration, so this is, I think all for the right purpose to look into the future.
Because.
But, it takes partners to do that and sometimes it works. But I think they're moving in the right direction, getting away from fossil fuels is gonna be a reality. But I would like to just move to finish this discussion up, but if we want some follow-up from the administrator, we could ask for that as we close our meeting. Okay. So I think if there's anything from our other commissioners online or Mr. Burgum.
No, nothing here.
Rose. Or Jennifer. Okay, move on. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. We'll add some agenda items just for follow-up for our next meeting. Moving to agenda 9. I'm sorry, we just did that. Agenda 10, just announcements for our next meeting. I would like to, before I do that, open the floor again for any other discussions or questions before we move on.
Sorry, one question I meant to ask. So the free fair ends on December 31, right?
That's correct.
But we won't know for the following year until later on. Hello?
Are you at? So are you asking for like 2027, the year of 2027 or 2020?
2026 and 2027, yeah, after 2025.
So yeah, it's fare free until December this year. So.
This year, right?
This year.
Okay, and then we don't know until later on, right, for 2026 and 2027.
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Could you just maybe expand a little bit on like what is the path that you're headed to now? And what's the possible? Once fare free ends, where do they go? Like, does the ridership end up paying what they used to as a rider fee? Where is that?
Let me present that to you at the next meeting. We're all at the planning phases of that, and I don't want to overstep right now because I gotta propose that to, you know, basically the new administration as well. So I don't want to overstep, but let me present that to you at the next meeting.
Does any of the commissioners have any more added input on the ridership?
You know this federal grant? Or did we, you know that federal grant on the last page? The GET, this is for the operating budget for 24 to 25, right?
Okay, I'm so sorry. I don't think they can hear unless we speak really loud into the mic.
You have to yell at this, think of me at the end of the.
Okay. The budget year, budget year 24 to 25, the GET, with the taxes was 44 million, right? 44 million or billion?
Million.
And then the federal grants of 26 million. So this was already approved already. You got the grants already.
Correct.
And it's almost done though, so fiscal year.
We're getting ready to go into the next
Fiscal
budget
year will be the
review.
end of June.
So the federal grants, what's the possibility we're not gonna get the grants?
Oh, with how the government is changing and everything.
No.
Yeah, we've been in very close communication with HDOT or Hawaii Department of Transportation with that. We're a sub-recipient, right?
Okay.
So we report to HDOT for all of that stuff, whether it's grants or whatnot. And there's a lot of uncertainty with it. There is. And so like the 4 battery electric buses that helped us with the grant money on getting those 4 battery electric buses, that was already, it's already purchased. So that's not gonna go away.
Okay.
It's, if I go and apply for a grant tomorrow or today, there could be uncertainty with that. So there is, and so there's no real right answer to that either, though. We just take it day by day right now and take every opportunity that we can also take, so. Yeah.
Any more questions? All right, close the discussion. We're gonna move on to future agenda items. This is, ask the commissioners to suggest any agenda items based on the update. So we can get that on record that they'd like to hear for our next meeting.
So what?
I think one was the update for ridership.
Yeah, the free ridership, add that on,
If there's any.
or whatever they're proposing.
Yeah, I can definitely do that.
Plan for the hydraulic, or excuse me, the hydro buses.
One.
Yeah, like I mentioned, we have the 2 hydrogen buses
We got
that
2.
we're still in the planning phases on what we're gonna do with that.
Yeah, maybe we can.
The other commissioners, would you like to see any agenda items to our next meeting?
No. No, thank you.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, before we close, our next meeting is scheduled for June 23rd, 2025 at 10 a.m. Online and in person. So if you could mark your calendars and make time for the next meeting, be much appreciated. All right, thank you, commissioners. I'll leave it open one last time for any other motions. If none, could I get a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Second the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 All right, motion approved. Thank you all. Appreciate everybody's time.
Everyone on the tele, did anyone have any other questions?
Thank you, commissioners.
Mala.